We're getting some feedback tonight about DIA's seeming propensity to attract tornadoes. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi taught us last night that since the airport opened in 1995, at least 5 tornadoes have touched down on or near DIA's property. Since 1975, 26 tornadoes have touched down within 5 miles of what is now the airport. And that's more than airport properties in tornado-prone places like Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Wichita. After Chris's story aired here, we heard from Skip Spenceley, who was once the director of the new airport office. They were in charge of selecting the new site for DIA when it was proposed in the 80s. Skip says they heard a lot of concerns when they were talking about the possible site, that it was in Tornado Alley. He says when they actually did the research, talked to a meteorologist, looked at a half-century worth of tornado records, they concluded that the current site of DIA was no more tornado-prone than any other part of the Eastern Plains.
We consulted with the FAA throughout this process, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration that's responsible for the Weather Service, with the National Center for Atmospheric Research that is probably the world-renowned atmospheric science institution. And all of those people told us that they did not see that that was a problem with respect to siting the airport where we sited it. And in the final analysis, even the Airline Pilots Association said they would much rather be there than at Stapleton, because ironically it was weather and the configuration of the old airport that was one of the motivating factors for moving to the new site.
We always welcome expertise from experts we might not have thought of who just happen to be watching next. Skip says to his knowledge there was no pushback on the proposed site from meteorologists or researchers. A lot of the concern was coming from people who did not want the airport moved out from Stapleton. Skip says that they were looking at 7 sites back in the 1980s, all in the northeastern portion of the metro area. He says the airport they felt couldn't be further west because of I-70 and the foothills, and they wanted to make sure that they placed it out east enough that there was enough space to develop around the airport, as is being done right now.